Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, it's the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. Oh, man. Oh. I must have a fever or something, bro. I am a little warm tonight. Man, I am a little warm tonight. I don't know what came over me on Monday night during the third hour, but I don't believe I'm going to say this. And this may be the only positivity you get from me in this entire review. But for some odd reason, I enjoyed the third hour of Monday Night Raw. I don't know what it was. I think I'm still riding high on Bray Wyatt. I enjoy good wrestling. Rey Mysterio and Cesaro certainly provided that tonight. And I actually had fun watching Braun Strowman. Believe it or not. Watching Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn in a Falls Count Anywhere match, even though Baron Corbin still finds himself in the main event of a Monday Night Raw. I don't believe I actually said that. Now, all in all, it was not a good show. Monday Night Raw is never a good show. This show was done by 8:30. This show was done. But that's all I got. That's all I got. JD, are you all right? Yeah, I know. Man, that Bray Wyatt situation, man, you know, we'll talk about it and we'll go over exactly what happened. But it's moments like that we need more of in professional wrestling. On a serious note, I don't usually use the word, I've got shills. The word shills. I don't usually throw that word around when I watch WWE. We throw it around when we watch NXT because, I mean, it's fucking NXT. But, man, did Bray Wyatt look great tonight. I don't know what they're doing. I'll give you guys my opinion on what we've seen. But it looks like Bray Wyatt has an alter ego, which we all assumed was going to be the end result with this Firefly Funhouse. It's a mixture of it. It's a mixture of Slipknot, and it's a mixture of the Joker. And I love it. I think Bray Wyatt looks fucking fantastic. And the best thing about Monday Night Raw, again, for a fourth straight week, is Bray Wyatt. But we got very used to saying that many years ago. I hope WWE can actually do him right in 2019. I am JD. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This is the Monday Night Raw Review Podcast. As always, here every single week, breaking down and covering Monday Night Raw. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys feel the need to show your appreciation in other ways, it's completely optional. It's up to you. But it's the only way to get exclusive content not available on YouTube and Off the Script early access every single weekend. Follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206 on both Twitter and the Gram. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I'd love to get to at least 7,500 before I head out to Las Vegas for All Elite Wrestling, Double or Nothing, in about a week and a half. I will let you guys know about that and what I'm going to be doing and where I'm going to be so we can have a cold beverage together, man. So make sure you guys are following me on social media for all the latest updates. And again, please hit that subscribe button down below and become a part of my JD's Elites. Make sure you guys go check out all the other videos that you might have missed this week, man. We did an off-the-script extra covering Goldberg's opponent for Saudi Arabia, which was revealed officially today, confirmed. It will be Goldberg versus The Undertaker at WWE Super Showdown in Jeddah. So they didn't really announce that it's in Saudi Arabia. They're going with it's Jeddah. And you're supposed to be a fucking social studies teacher and figure out where Jeddah actually is. But that's not the worst of it. Two 50-year-olds in the ring, in which the match itself will be shorter than both entrances combined. One who's retired and came out of retirement again versus someone who should have been retired after WrestleMania 26. So there you go. I'm not sure how excited you are about that, but we'll talk about it on Off the Script this coming weekend. So that was announced. If you guys want to go check that out. Obviously, on Off the Script, we talk SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw and the wild card rule and why it really didn't make any sense and why Fox wants to end the WWE brand split. Also, we talk about the Becky Lynch dilemma that is in WWE right now. She is losing momentum, and quickly. But we'll talk about Becky Lynch and, of course, AEW, their TV deal virtually done. It will air on TNT this fall, and why AEW is important for the landscape of pro wrestling right now, and why they picked the absolute perfect time to combat WWE television, because right now, WWE creatively is nothing more than a sinking ship. This podcast is brought to you by Audible, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys use our unique link. You're going to get 30 days free of Audible service and one free audiobook of your choice. Yes, I said one free audiobook of your choice. All you have to do is download the app on your iPhone or Android device. You're going to enter audibletrial.com/offthescript into your browser. You're going to go through the sign-up process. You will not be billed. You're going to get 30 days. And then Audible, as a thank you for signing up, is going to give you one free audiobook of your choice. The best part is you can cancel at any time. Day 1, day 2, day 30. It doesn't matter. You're still going to get to keep your audiobook for free. So if you feel like Audible's not for you, you're getting something for free just for listening to Off the Script tonight. Again, audibletrial.com/offthescript. Monday Night Raw was taped tonight, guys. And I think everybody kind of knew that. If you were browsing social media this afternoon, I didn't really look at the spoilers. I didn't really care to. I don't want to watch Monday Night Raw on a live night. I didn't want to look at social media and feel an overwhelming sense of not to watch even more. But I don't like the way WWE makes these shows feel. They just look and feel taped. They look and feel unnatural right from the opening segment. And I don't know what it is with WWE. You're going overseas. And this is the part I really don't understand. You're going overseas. You're going to a country that does not get the WWE product live all that often. And what WWE does is they go into these lively crowds. The UK crowd is usually very boisterous. They were boisterous at times tonight, but for the majority of the show, every single person that came through that curtain, for whatever reason, their intro was met with nothing but silence. It's like WWE goes out of their way to silence these crowds taped. Now, they got 3 hours before the show has to air here on the East Coast at 8 p.m. So that gives them about 3 hours, 2.5 hours roughly, to get all their editing in, and decrease the Roman boos and, remove any chance that they don't find WWE-like during the live show. Get rid of that. It's like they make an effort, more so than anything, to silence these crowds and really dead the crowd for us here in the United States. And I hate that. And we got the same thing tomorrow on SmackDown Live. But it was live in the UK. And we're opening with Miz TV. And we got a commercial for SmackDown Live tomorrow where we're going to see Kevin Owens and the KO show with Kofi Kingston. I don't know what it is with WWE and their obsession with these talk shows. Legit full-time roster guys having their own talk shows. It's every single week. Every single week. I do not remember a Piper's Pit every single week. I never seen or remember a Cutting Edge every single week. I don't remember or seeing, Jericho's little talk show every single week. What is it with these fucking people? I mean, is this the new way of getting people on the shows? Is this the new way of WWE building big-time matches at their pay-per-views? Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston is a WWE title match. Why aren't you building that through other means? I don't get it. And The Miz, with Miz TV, having Roman Reigns on Miz TV is not really a great way to start Monday Night Raw. It's almost as if The Miz does this shit every single week. It's lazy. It's creatively lazy. So they recapped Miz and Shane McMahon and whatever's going on there. Roman Reigns came out. And Roman Reigns is taking advantage of the wild card rule. Still nobody has been named as the person making these decisions. Nothing was explained. Who's making these decisions? When were these decisions decided upon? Why are they here? Why can't this be done on SmackDown Live? I don't know. No answers again. Reigns sat down for an interview with The Miz. Miz asked, what can we expect from the big dog? So not only do we have to hear it from Michael Cole, they have The Miz utter the big dog as well. So that's 2 times in one single segment. Shoot me. So he's got his match against Elias at Money in the Bank. Miz wants to know what we can expect from Roman Reigns. Reigns says Elias is a lot of things. Young, strong, charismatic, very talented. Fans began praising Elias. This was a pro-Elias crowd. This was an anti-Roman crowd. But you might not realize that because of WWE's slick editing after the show was originally taped. Then Reigns says, if you want a karaoke performer or a wedding singer, you can have Elias. He said Elias hasn't done anything in WWE, hasn't won any championships. On Sunday, I'm bringing the big fight. So let me get this straight. Instead of building Elias up and building on the young, the strong, the charismatic, the very talented, you then proceed to call him Adam Sandler. You proceed to call him some fucking hick drinking Budweiser, sitting down at a bar drinking Budweiser, singing karaoke, right? And then you go on to say, admittedly, that he's a loser. What a great way to sell your match on Sunday, Mr. Reigns. What a great way to make Elias look like a big deal and sound like a big deal. Whatever Elias was described as here by Reigns is exactly what WWE management sees when they look at Elias. And I'll get to Elias in a second. Miz says they never seen eye to eye. They're both former champions and now they're both in movies, noting that he's an A-lister. Hardly. And Reigns is going to be in the Fast and the Furious. Cheap plug. Reigns looked on at The Miz, and Miz suggested they do a buddy comedy, Miz and the Big Dog. You couldn't pay me to see a fucking movie with Roman Reigns and The Miz. Even if you include a big tub of fucking popcorn, extra butter, and a fucking Mountain Dew. No. The Mountain Dew and the fucking popcorn would cost me $35 in itself. No. So, he said, Reigns, that you had such a good thing going here. And now you're starting to sound like the old Miz, who'd he smack in the mouth. He says he came to talk to the new Miz, the guy who stands up to the authority and chases Shane around the arena with a chair. He asked where he is. Where's this Miz? Did you forget about him? Reigns asked if they can remind Miz. Suddenly, the big screen showed footage of Shane attacking Reigns as he was covering Drew McIntyre for a possible victory a couple of weeks ago. Reigns says that's the Miz that they all want to talk to. Miz then polled the fans in the audience. They cheered. Miz says he's never been on the same page. And he's never been on the same page with Roman Reigns. And he's now understood that he has to start earning respect from his peers and the fans. Shane is a daddy's boy who's been handed everything with a silver spoon in his mouth. Miz says he's not the toughest, the biggest, the strongest, or the best, or the most interesting. I added those two in. He didn't say that, but I'll get to that in a second. But he knows how to win. He said Shane has attacked his father and run from him at every turn, but his power and privilege won't matter on Sunday because he'll be stuck in a steel cage with him and there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He said Shane will regret putting his hands on his family because you'll go down harder than your old man did to the Superman punch. Lame. First of all, where's the new Miz? I don't want to know where the new Miz is. Keep the new Miz locked up, away from everybody. I want the old Miz back. I want what Reigns doesn't want back. I want the old Miz back. This Miz is fucking nauseating. Now, it was fine going into WrestleMania against Shane McMahon in the Falls Count Anywhere match, but being that we have to deal with this shit again, and we're lingering on from storylines that should have been over with at WrestleMania, still, I want the old Miz back. I want the Miz that's going to fucking kick you in the balls when nobody's looking. I want the Miz that's going to have his wife jump the barricade and hit his opponent with a fucking pair of brass knuckles. I want the Miz that's going to tell everybody how great he is because he has the opportunity to be that damn good. And you know what? He did show you that. Remember last year, early on, around this same time, The Miz was having some of the best matches of his fucking career, and now he's actually a shell of his former self. I don't like this Miz. This Miz is fucking garbage. And I think we've seen enough of babyface Miz. He's never going to be looked at as a babyface. As far as Roman goes, what a way to put down Elias in this segment. Calling him a wedding singer and a karaoke singer and ultimately a loser for not winning any championships. Elias has run its course, and I got some flack from it on social media from people, which are, they're casuals. I don't really expect anything more from these fucking degenerates. But Elias has run his course as a character. His expiration date is long past due. The guy is completely fucking boring. I'm sorry. There's two things about Elias that I don't like. One, it's just over and over and over, same old shit with Elias. The guy clearly has not gotten any better. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he have a match with Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank last year for the Intercontinental Championship? That was like his best match ever. What happened to that Elias? That Elias actually showed some promise of getting better. This Elias is nothing more than a complacent fool. That's the way I envision Elias. Elias is like that whole milk that you got sitting in your refrigerator for about 3 months past the fucking expiration date. It's all stale and moldy and smelly. That's Elias. And then one day you decide to fucking throw it out and go buy a new carton of milk that's got a brand new expiration date. I wish WWE would do something with Elias to make me fucking care. It's as if he knows he's a novelty act, he knows he's a comedy act, and he does not get better. Hey, he's got one of the most over characters in WWE, and I guess that's all you need. And to the casual, they're going to enjoy Elias because they don't know any better. They got a whole brain functioning, and maybe 2% of their brain is working. Oh, Elias is entertaining. Oh, Elias is funny. Meanwhile, it's been going on for 2 years now. Show me something different. Show me something more. The guy clearly has something. Why doesn't WWE tap into that? But what the fuck do I know? He's over and he's a comedy act on Monday Night Raw. Oh well. Shane came in. He hits the stage. Says it's quite flattering that they're out there talking about Mr. Shane McMahon. Says they need to remember that he's their boss. Said as of right now, Miz TV is over. I wish it was over forever. Cancel it. Bring back Truth TV. How about that? Our Truth's not on TV every week. I would like to see more Truth TV. Elias and Bobby Lashley then come from behind and attack both Miz and Roman Reigns. Clearly, you knew where this was going, and in typical WWE fashion, Shane announces that there's a tag team match coming up after the commercial break. Awesome. Where's the remote? Where's the remote? Honey, where's the remote? Who is on Guys Grocery Games tonight? Please, what are they cooking? Italian? Seafood? What do they got? All right, let's put that on. We'll waste 15 minutes on watching Guy Fieri fucking critique someone roaming down aisle 11. Fuck out of here. Bobby Lashley and Elias versus Miz and Roman Reigns. This was awful. Who on earth could legitimately give a shit about any of these individuals? Seriously. I don't understand it. They bring Reigns back for the wildcard rule, and he's not doing much better on SmackDown Live, but in some weird way, WWE expects him to change the Monday Night Raw ratings for the better. On what planet? I don't really understand it. This match went to a no contest because of Shane McMahon interfering. Shane McMahon interferes. Shane being super Shane O'Mac. He goes after Reigns while Lashley and Elias are selling on the mat. And Elias, Lashley join in on the beatdown. Miz entered with a chair to help Reigns fight back and clear the ring. Reigns and Miz, with Elias and Lashley, have a terrible tag team match that went nowhere. And I was expecting the heels to actually win this thing because Elias and Lashley, if they're being paired with Shane McMahon, you figured that they would get one over on the baby faces and actually look like a legit threat to whatever the fuck is going on here with these two, which I'll touch on in a second. But that didn't happen. So they caused the DQ, and they went about things in a very heel-like manner. And at the end of it, I didn't care. At least if they would have won, I would have been like, oh, look at that. The heels got a victory. It wasn't going to do anything for me personally, but it would have been nice to see this heel faction, if you even want to call it that, get a victory under their belts over the underdog baby faces here in Roman Reigns and The Miz. I still don't understand why Roman Reigns is feuding with Shane McMahon. Can someone please fill me in? I really don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know why. I understand why The Miz is feuding with Shane McMahon. And being that The Miz is now paired with Roman Reigns by association, I guess that involves Roman Reigns and gives him a reason to fight Shane McMahon. I still don't know why. He still attacked the McMahons for absolutely no reason, and I stick to my guns on the reason why. It was done because everybody looks at the McMahons as villains, and it's just another way, another excuse for the crowd to not shit on Roman Reigns. Because there's really no reason why he is feuding with the McMahons or the Authority at all. So please somebody fill me in. Or am I losing my fucking mind? Either way, the tag team match was a complete waste of time. This is the great way to start Monday Night Raw off. Again, tag team match. They did a tag team match last week, and they did a tag team match this week. I don't know what it is with these fucking tag team matches. I really don't. It speaks to me as lazy. Enough with the tag team matches. You don't need to get everybody on the fucking show. Moving on. Charlie Caruso interviewed Braun Strowman. Strowman said the critic says that he could have seriously hurt Sami Zayn. So he does regret his actions. I regret watching Monday Night Raw every single week, so I know how you feel, Mr. Strowman. Braun Strowman says his only regret is the trash compactor didn't turn Sami into a cube. He says that was the last week, and this week is about Money in the Bank and the ladder match. He said he will become Mr. Monster in the Back. Monster in the Back. Monster in the Bank. I wish he would get to the fucking back of the line. He's fucking terrible. Monster in the Bank. How cringe is that? For second year in a row. So then this goon-like producer comes over. I don't know if you guys were paying attention. I was zeroed in on this fucking guy's facial expressions. This guy comes over. It is so difficult for this fucking clown to not smile and break out in hysterical laughter. He's talking to Braun Strowman in a manner in which he should be terrified of this man's girth and this man's size, and he's standing there wanting to break out into a hysterical laugh. So he says, Shane would like to see you in his office. I thought Braun was going to fucking throw him a chokeslam or something. Throw him into a garbage fucking can or something, I don't know. But he walks off without harming this goon-like producer. Disappointing, Mr. Strowman, disappointing. You destroy everything else, but when I want you to actually do something to somebody, you don't do it. This guy deserved it just for his facial expressions alone. Sami is in Shane's office. says Shane McMahon is a part of this toxic nature of WWE fans, and the WWE fans are making the superstars act recklessly. He called it, is it the fans or Vince? I don't think the fans are making the superstars act recklessly. We only want a damn good show. It's Vince McMahon making everybody act recklessly. He called the WWE fans twice. Fans. WWE fans. I don't know if anybody picked up on that. Instead of saying WWE Universe. Sami Zayn going to get 10 lashes on the fucking wrist for that one? Or maybe they're easing up on the verbiage when addressing the audience. You know how fucking terrible it sounds? Oh, the WWE Universe. I wish. I doubt it, but I wish. Said Strowman could have ended his career last week, but he only acts that way because fans will only cheer him if he acts like a monster. Braun walked in and asked why he's been called into the principal's office. Sami says he's lucky to be standing there after what he did to him last week, so Shane is going to replace Braun in the match with me. That's what he said. So Shane says, well, I can't just give Sami the spot. I mean, opportunity. Sami says he'd wrestle Braun Strowman for the spot. He says he wants a Falls Count Anywhere match. This came directly from Sami Zayn. Shane said Braun was supposed to wrestle Drew McIntyre tonight. There's a reason why they nixed that match, I'm sure. We'll find out this week. Or it was just the classic WWE changed plans at the last minute. Sami told Shane he could find something else for Drew to do, I'm sure, so Shane booked the match. Braun says, I'm going to eat you alive. Sami looked frozen in fear. Shane congratulated him for getting his match, and Renee then throws her wicked one-liners out there. Time to get out the obituaries. I'm sure we all feel that way when we're watching Monday Night Raw. Time to get out the obituaries. Who's going to get buried this week? Oh, Raw in the ratings. Look at that. You know, the funny line about Braun saying to Sami, I'm going to eat you alive. That's the same thing that Vince McMahon says to all the NXT talent that he calls up from Full Sail University. Just a little fucking fun fact out there. Mojo Rawley versus Apollo Crews. Yes, this is Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry if you might have wrongly guessed. Am I watching a Superstars review? Or a main event review? Or a Velocity review? Maybe Sunday Night Heat? Maybe Impact Wrestling? Gonna get shit for that one, I'm sure. Mojo Rawley versus Apollo Crews. 90 seconds. Mojo wins. He's got this new gimmick working where he's got this blue face paint in the form of glass shattering. Ooh, he looks so intimidating. Apollo Crews is on SmackDown Live. Yes, Apollo Crews is on SmackDown Live. I'm not sure if you realize that, but listen to this. Apollo Crews is on SmackDown Live. The man has not even been on SmackDown Live since the shakeup, which, to me, is not surprising, but I'm just throwing it out there. Apollo Crews has not even been featured on SmackDown Live yet, but WWE used Apollo Crews in this situation to take the opportunity for the wild card rule, or to use the wild card rule and take advantage of it. Could someone please tell me what Apollo Crews is actually taking advantage of? Why did he use the Superstar Shakeup to be put in a match with Mojo Rawley to only lose in 90 fucking seconds? Now, I did mention this before anybody fucking jumps down my throat. I did mention this. Is this going to extend to the mid-card and the undercard guys? I don't know what fucking difference it's going to make, but looking at it as it's actually happening on my screen, this was a complete waste of fucking time. We don't know why Apollo was there. We don't know why he wanted to face Mojo Rawley. We don't know what the fuck he was taking advantage of. And he hasn't even been featured on SmackDown Live. Yet, somehow, he's featured on Monday Night Raw. I wish somebody would fucking explain this one to me. So you used one of your superstars for the wild card rule, which you can only use 4, on fucking Apollo Crews. Unreal. Apollo did one of his flips, backflips in the match. Looked like he tweaked his knee or his ankle. Mojo speared his leg, started yelling at him, and then finishes him off with a broski elbow. And that was it. 2 minutes. Mojo wins. What did he use this for? Again, I gotta ask, what did he use it for? I guarantee you, Mojo's not even going to be featured on the Fallout show for Money in the Bank next week. So what did Apollo Crews use this opportunity for? To showcase to the world that WWE thinks he's a fucking loser. Backstage, Alexa Bliss was on her phone. She was complaining that she lost her luggage coming into the UK. Sure she did. I'm an American celebrity. Sure you are. Which means my luggage is your priority. In walked Nikki Cross. Makeup and everything. Hair straightened. Makeup on Nikki Cross. And talking like a civil human being. Bliss said nothing is okay. She said she doesn't get how she grew up in the area. Talking to Nikki Cross. I don't get how you grew up in the area because it's been a week from hell. Bliss thanked her. Oh, I'm sorry. A week from hell. Man, WWE Creative must not have been in your favor this week, Miss Bliss. I don't know what you could be possibly complaining about. So, she said she doesn't know how Nikki grew up in this area. It's been a week from hell. Bliss thanked her for asking and says it's nice to have someone to talk to. Nikki says she's been there for 4 weeks and no one even noticed. I noticed. Several other people noticed. Several other people are vouching for you to get a role on this show. Maybe WWE doesn't care, but we certainly care, Miss Cross. Bliss said things have been so crazy, she feels bad that she's gotten to know or hasn't gotten to know her until now. Cross told Bliss that she can talk to her. Bliss said that she took the invitation and started rambling about her problems, including concerned fans that would laugh at her without her proper gear. I laugh at you with your proper gear. You don't need proper gear for me not to laugh at you. Nikki told Bliss she can go on and talk to McMahon's about finding a replacement for her match. Bliss says she'd go do that. Nikki looked on as if she wasn't quite sure what Alexa Bliss meant. So, 1 week, it's WWE using the excuse of Alexa Bliss having untied shoelaces in her match with Naomi. And now this week, she somehow lost her luggage on her way to the UK, which I actually did some investigative work on, and I typed in several phrases on Google to find out if anybody in the WWE had lost luggage or any type of fucking situation flying into the UK. Couldn't find a goddamn thing. So I'm using my logic and my brain, and I'm giving you guys the answer as to why Alexa Bliss, if you're wondering why she didn't wrestle tonight, lost luggage equals Alexa does not want to take a bump on Monday Night Raw yet again. That's the only reason I could come up with, and I'm sure it is 100% factual. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, I'm glad she lost her luggage. I don't want to see her wrestle anyway. But the fact of the matter is that Alexa Bliss is in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and by the end of the night, you're going to see what is terribly wrong with this situation. We had Michael Cole in the ring with Lacey Evans, who came out wearing a red top hat and a black and red dress. Charlotte came out, and she was sporting an all-black look, blonde hair flowing down. Lacey Evans got the blonde hair flowing down her shoulders. They both sat in the ring. Out comes Becky Lynch to a great ovation. Now, clearly, this is Becky Lynch's people. This is Becky Lynch's area. So, obviously, she is going to get a proper ovation and a proper reaction. So, for one night at least, Becky Lynch got the reaction that she should be getting from the WWE fans. She came wearing both belts after breaking the internet this week by posting a picture of her and Seth Rollins together, which she just randomly threw out there. And then Seth today further broke the rest of the internet that Becky Lynch did not break. And he posted a picture of them kissing and embracing backstage in the WWE after a live event. So it is confirmed Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are officially a couple. And I will touch on that in a second because that, you might not be thinking about it, that could be a vital piece of information that many people are going to overlook by the time they wake up tomorrow morning. We'll touch on that in a second. So, Cole asked Becky if she realizes how grueling it will be to defend both titles in one night on Sunday. Fans chanted, "Becky 2 belts." She smiled and says it's great to be back in London. She said she knows that she will take a beating, but she doesn't care. Becky pretended. A lot of people don't care, Becky. A lot of people don't care. Not because that, you want to take a beating. A lot of people don't care about what goes on in this show. That's what I have a problem with. Becky pretended she couldn't tell them apart and referenced them as twin sisters. I even mentioned this on social media. Do not be fooled, folks. Do not be fooled. Charlotte and Lacey Evans are one and the same. The only difference is one's a flare and the other wears a top hat. But they are identical. They might not be identical in sisters or the sister term, but they are identical because they curry favors in a political fashion to get what they want backstage. Thus, Lacey Evans is in a title match after basically doing nothing, and Charlotte, once again, coming out of WrestleMania, is in a title match for basically doing nothing. So there you go. So Charlotte said Becky has everything she could ever want, but she still has to take digs. Of course, it's too easy not to. It's too easy not to. So why not do it? She said it's the same big mouth that got her in trouble in the first place. Charlotte says she just can't win this situation. Lacey says she's glad that she's not the only one who knows how to dress for the occasion. This is a contract signing, sweetheart. Not a barn fight, or not fighting in a barn. Becky says she's apparently never been to one of these before. Lacey started to laugh sarcastically at Becky Lynch. Becky said there's a little voice in the back of Charlotte's head about not delivering lately, despite being groomed as the top woman in WWE. Pressure, pressure, she said. Becky said one of her opponents is under pressure not to lose for the first time on pay-per-view, and the other is under pressure to not lose her millionth. I LOL'd. I think Becky is great in these situations. I thought that was a great line. Becky signs the contract like a fucking beast. Fans chanted Becky 2 belts, really behind Becky here. Charlotte brought up Becky, calling herself Becky 2 belts and building a reputation she can't live up to. She says it will all come crashing down and, quite frankly, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Laughing in a very robotic tone is Charlotte, saying, I find it hilarious. Charlotte says when she bows down to the queen, she'll only have her stubborn pride to blame. Lacey said the WWE Universe deserves a proper lady to set a proper example as champion. I'm sure WWE Creative doesn't look at you as a proper lady, Miss Lacey Evans. Nowhere near being a proper lady. She said Becky is a classless example of a champion, and she's leading fans astray by her classless, confusing behavior. She said she's going to clean up the nasty. She added, you can continue to pretend to swing around with something that you have down below, but the fact is, there's no way you will take out 2 real ladies. So she's implying that Becky Lynch has a fucking cock and balls, and she swings around from her cock and balls because she calls herself the man, and Lacey is going to put an end to that at Money in the Bank by calling her and Charlotte real ladies. So Becky dared Lacey Evans to take a free shot. She offered up her chin. Lacey Evans says, no, I don't want to get this dress dirty. Lacey then signed the contract and sealed it with a kiss, legitimately. And Charlotte teased Lacey to show Becky the woman's right. Lacey says she doesn't want to get her dress dirty. Lacey tipped the table aside and went after Becky, and then there was a big brawl. Charlotte and Lacey Evans were being beat up by Becky for just a split second, but the numbers game caught up to Becky Lynch, and Charlotte and Lacey powerbombed Miss Becky Lynch through the table, and they both held up the belts at the end of the contract signing. Yes, another contract signing with another table broken. This is Protocol 101 in WWE. I'm not surprised by that. I am surprised when the table doesn't break, or there's no use of the table in a contract signing. This was fine for what it is. Listen, I'm tired of complaining about this fucking program. I just don't care. I want to care. I just don't care. Becky Lynch has been overexposed to a point where I am honestly, as a fan, starting to lose favor, but that doesn't mean I want to see her lose. Because I honestly do think that it's WWE's fault. The majority of the blame is on WWE here. Lacey Evans does not have a chance, in my opinion, though I would not be surprised if she does win it. Charlotte, I would not be surprised if WWE gives her a 9th title reign, because why the fuck not? They've done it before. I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. Becky Lynch does not have a strong enough villain, and they do have a strong enough villain in Charlotte, but the only thing is that we've seen it so many different times already. So it's very difficult for me to care now when we've seen it all through WrestleMania season. I don't want to see it again, and I'm sure neither do you. She doesn't have a proper villain to go up against. And every good babyface, like Becky Lynch, needs a good villain. Charlotte's been overdone. Lacey Evans is not it. I'm not saying she can't be it. I'm just saying Lacey Evans, no matter how good you think she portrays that character, is not ready, and she doesn't deserve it. I am not about giving people instant title shots and instant rocket packs to the top, because we've seen it done before in the WWE with people now who are no longer there. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I'm not saying that Lacey Evans can't make it work. I'm just saying I'm not interested in seeing someone bypass legitimately everybody for basically doing nothing. That's what I'm saying. Now, she does portray the character very well. She handles herself very well. I'm not saying that she doesn't play the role right. I'm just saying I think there are many other women in WWE right now who are much better at what they do and much more deserving at that opportunity than Lacey Evans. Now, going back to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins being an official couple. Some people might not be taking this into consideration. WWE has somewhat of a protocol. I don't know if it's really an official protocol, but they did move Andrade from Raw back to SmackDown during the Superstar Shakeup because apparently he and Charlotte are set to be engaged. Now, with Andrade being on Raw, Aleister Black was on Raw. Aleister Black is married to Zelina Vega, who is part of Andrade's act. They were all on Raw. So when they moved Andrade for Charlotte, they had to move Zelina because she's a part of Andrade back to SmackDown. So that made them have to move Aleister Black over to SmackDown. They have a thing in WWE where they want to keep the couples together because I believe that it creates good backstage morale and it keeps everybody happy to be in those relationships. They don't want to be away from the people that they're with, which is respectable. There is a lot of inter-office dating in the WWE, which some people might not agree with, but it is there. And I like the fact that they're at least trying to keep people happy. WWE's been known to split couples up, but it hasn't happened this Superstar Shakeup. And I don't expect it to happen here with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. So what does this mean? Well, if Becky is going to do anything at Money in the Bank, in my honest opinion, Becky is not losing the Monday Night Raw Women's Championship. Because if she does, it means that she will probably end up losing to Charlotte as well. That would keep her on Monday Night Raw, I think. But WWE really hasn't given us an explanation as to where Becky would go if she loses both belts. If she keeps the Monday Night Raw Women's Championship, she will probably lose the SmackDown title to Charlotte. You need a woman over there on SmackDown Live to anchor that division, being that Becky is no longer going to be able to be on both shows right now equally. She'll be able to take advantage of the wild card to show up, but she's not going to be representing both brands. So if she keeps the Raw Women's Championship, then she stays on Raw and stays with Seth Rollins. If she goes into the match with Charlotte, she's more likely to lose. So that brand has its own separate champion away from Monday Night Raw. Now, like I said, I don't see Lacey Evans beating Becky Lynch because if Becky Lynch loses the Monday Night Raw title, there is a big possibility that she could end up beating Charlotte and going to SmackDown. But why would WWE do that knowing that her boyfriend is on Monday Night Raw? They wouldn't really split up Seth and Becky, being that they're two management favorites right now. So I'm looking at this as a positive win for us Becky Lynch fans. We all know that Lacey Evans doesn't deserve to be a Raw Women's Champion. So right now, the fact that she's dating Seth Rollins and it's out in the public, it gives her the greatest chance of retaining that title and ultimately losing to Charlotte, which I could see now being the probable outcome at Money in the Bank. Now, again, like I mentioned before, she could lose to Lacey. She could lose to Charlotte. She could have no titles at the end of Money in the Bank, and that would possibly keep her on Monday Night Raw as well to feud with Lacey and try and get the title back. So it's definitely going to be one of those situations. Either Becky loses all titles or she loses the SmackDown title. That is my opinion on Becky Lynch going into Money in the Bank. I would be very surprised if anybody brings that up. So I'll be paying close attention to that as we move on through the hours on Tuesday afternoon. Want to go over this, guys, before we get into the rest of the Monday Night Raw review. Make sure you guys go and check out my official merchandise on bonfire.com. JD's Elites, the #1 selling t-shirt for Off the Script and one of the best-selling t-shirts in all of the YWC. Link is down below. Get yours today. JD's Elites, now exclusively on bonfire.com. Moving on with the rest of Monday Night Raw tonight, man. Ricochet versus Baron Corbin. I don't know what it is with Ricochet, man. I said this to a few people that I was texting during Monday Night Raw. I feel like the appeal of Ricochet is really fading away. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I love Ricochet. I have very, very high hopes for Ricochet on the main roster. It's just the simple fact that I actually miss seeing him less. I really do. I miss the days in NXT where we seen Ricochet maybe once every 3 weeks, or he'd make a run-in and not wrestle during every single fucking taping down at Full Sail University. Now that we see him wrestle every single week, and he's lost twice now in 4 weeks, I don't like that aspect, but the more we see of him, the more repetitive Ricochet is getting. There's literally nothing different about his matches. Now, you didn't notice that down in NXT, and I really didn't want to say anything about that because we were just so happy to see him after he wrestled once and then we don't see him again for 3 weeks. Or he does a backstage promo, or he's got an interview, or he's in the ring doing something, building towards his next feud, or his next title contender when he was the North American champion down in NXT. Now that we're seeing him every week, he doesn't have that appeal. I actually want to see him less. But this is the main roster. They need everybody on every show, every single week, and this is the negative of the main roster. They don't build stars, and when you see shit like this, it's nothing more than a waste of television time, because they're not benefiting from it. Ricochet and Baron Corbin was a complete waste. 9 minutes, Baron Corbin wins with the end of days. Clean. WWE continuing to push Baron Corbin for whatever reason. Now, I made the tweet tonight. I didn't really like the fact that Baron Corbin beat Ricochet. I feel like Ricochet is more prone to losing than he ever was in NXT. And the mentality of Ricochet in NXT was that Ricochet was special. And I thought that was the mentality that the main roster was going to have, but clearly that's not where they're going with Ricochet. I hope for the simple fact, now he's not my guy to win, but if Baron Corbin beat Ricochet here, that he's either going to do one of two things. One, he's going to have a standout performance that are going to get people talking at Money in the Bank, or he's legitimately going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. So we'll see what happens. I don't know why Corbin's push continues, but Ricochet right now is being misused. And if you don't agree with that, I don't know what to tell you. He lost to Bobby Roode. We haven't seen Robert Roode. We haven't seen Robert Roode since then. And they brought him back to lose to Ricochet and give him 50-50 booking. Since then, we haven't seen him at all. And now he loses to Baron Corbin here. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Ricochet is being dumbed down. Ricochet is being, I don't want to say overexposed, but again, the appeal of Ricochet is really, really, really going away. I miss the days where we seen him less and less, because the more we seen him, the special he was. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I know that he's a top-tier player. Backstage, Charlie Caruso asked Rey Mysterio for a comment. Joe had a promo. Joe said he crossed the line by targeting his son in a match. Joe actually had a promo yelling at Dominic, and he says he can't wait for Rey Mysterio Money in the Bank, and he hopes Dominic is going to be there. Rey Mysterio said Joe crossed the line by targeting his son after he lost the match. He wondered if he was that sadistic. Yes, he is. That's the only way I want to see Samoa Joe. He told Joe to say it to his face. Cesaro walked in and asked if he was really going to talk about Samoa Joe when he's not around. And when did Raw become the Take Your Son to Work Day show? Ray says his son has been training a long time. Cesaro said Dominic looks more like Samoa Joe than he does Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio is 5'0" and Dominic is 6'2". So then Cesaro went and says, is Dominic even your son, legitimately? Here we go. That obviously prompted Ray to attack Cesaro, and boom, we got a match made for Monday Night Raw. They went to another Roman Reigns Beacon of Hope Survivor promo video package for Roman Reigns, which I don't know why they're showing the same fucking shit that they did last week. Enough is enough. And then you want to know legitimately why I shit on Roman Reigns every single week. Shit like this. Naomi, Dana Brooke, Natalya, and Nikki Cross taking the place for Alexa Bliss, who doesn't want to bump or wrestle. Maybe she doesn't know how to wrestle. Naomi's in the ring, and she comes out, and she has a soundbite airing. She looked fucking god-awful. She said there's no athlete like her in the match, period, so the competition better get ready to be outshined by the glow. Can't wait. Can't wait. Dana came out next. She had a little soundbite. She said winning the Money in the Bank ladder match will be a validation for all her hard work and catering. She says she's bringing a lot. She's bringing all she's got. Silverware, knives, forks, plates, tissues, and even a cup for that lemonade that Titus squeezes so beautifully. She didn't say all that. I had to ad-lib and add that in there, man. She's garbage. She's garbage. Anyway, she says she deserves to win. She just doesn't need to win or want to win. She deserves to win. What does she deserve to win for? Maybe she's starring on Man vs. Food? I don't know. What does she deserve to win? Seriously, what has she done? What has Dana Brooke done for me to sit here and tell you, man, Dana Brooke deserves to win? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nikki Cross wins here. Cross finished Natalya off with a neck breaker in the middle of the ring. And that was it. That was pretty much it. Alexa Bliss was on commentary. I didn't really pay attention. I never do when she's speaking because I can't fucking stand the bitch. Bliss entered the ring and climbed the ladder and looked on as Nikki Cross held the ladder. And that was it. They showed Alexa Bliss on top of the ladder with the briefcase, doing her little pose in non-wrestling gear. So, Nikki Cross wins this Fatal 4-Way with all of the participants, not Alexa Bliss, in the Money in the Bank women's ladder match for Monday Night Raw. Nikki Cross is not in the ladder match. They buried all of the women in the women's ladder match on Monday Night Raw, and they gave the spotlight to Alexa Bliss, who didn't even fucking throw a punch on Monday Night Raw, and gave her the spotlight on top of the ladder with the briefcase, signaling that she's going to win it for a second year in a row. I don't see how anybody doesn't understand how that is fucking ridiculous. So, the woman didn't do anything tonight, and you're spotlighting her in the match. Meanwhile, she got someone to wrestle for her because of lost luggage. Absolutely ridiculous. It's sickening. It's sickening. We are going to get another Alexa Bliss match at Money in the Bank where she is laying down on the ground, on the outside, sleeping for about 15 minutes, and she's going to pick her spots and not going to take a fucking bump. Watch. I guarantee you. And when it happens, you'll know because I'll be tweeting about it on social media. Nikki Cross wins. She's not even in the ladder match. Maybe they add her. I don't know. She certainly deserves to be added. She beat everybody in the fucking ladder match. Why wouldn't she get added, or why shouldn't she deserve a spot in the ladder match after she beat everybody who's already been announced in the ladder match? Doesn't make any sense. Nicole Cross wins. Because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. She spoke like a normal human being in the back with Alexa Bliss while Alexa Bliss was crying about her luggage. Then she comes out as good old Nikki Cross. Split personalities? Or WWE not knowing which Nikki Cross they want to portray on WWE television? You decide. You decide. Rey Mysterio and Cesaro, before we had the match, Samoa Joe had a soundbite, held up the U.S. title, says Rey talks a big game when he's not around. Says he didn't cross any line by talking harshly to his son. I wish, if I had a son, I would want Samoa Joe to speak harshly to my son. Only love. Only love. I feel so much love coming from Samoa Joe. Said Rey crossed the line as soon as he brought Dominic to the WWE. Said someone has to teach Dominic how to be a man. Joe says he hopes to see Dominic on Sunday after he destroys his father. Gotta love Samoa Joe. Gotta love Samoa Joe, man. Always a great promo. Rey Mysterio and Cesaro went 10 minutes. This was, finally, after 2 hours of garbage television, we finally got a decent match. Mysterio wins in 10 minutes. Cesaro controlled most of the match. Set up for a neutralizer, but Rey escaped and whipped Cesaro into position for a 619. He hit the 619 and then leapt off the rope with a big splash for the win. This was great. I really enjoyed this, and Cesaro always is fun to watch when he's with somebody who knows how to work. Cesaro actually attempted a 619 of his own, which was great. He got caught in the ropes, and he failed the attempt, but, I would definitely be open to seeing more of these two for the United States Championship if Rey Mysterio can beat Samoa Joe at Money in the Bank. But great match nonetheless, man. Cesaro, always fun, like I said. And I understand Rey Mysterio had to win this match because he's got the match against Samoa Joe and he needed to look strong going into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view for the United States title. But, man, after this is all over with, Cesaro needs to be given some opponents and some wins. And I would really, really, really appreciate if WWE got behind Cesaro, changed up his look a little bit, kept him the same, made him stand out a little bit more, give him his own identity, maybe change that fucking horrendous theme music that we've been listening to for years. Because when I hear the theme music, I automatically associate him with Sheamus and The Bar. It's time to move Cesaro on for that. If Sheamus is really going to be out and nobody knows when he's coming back, there's rumors of Sheamus retiring. We don't know if Sheamus is going to join Cesaro on Monday Night Raw because he wasn't drafted in the shakeup. For all we know, he's still on SmackDown Live. So give Cesaro his own identity. The guy is too good to be cast as merely Sheamus' tag team partner. Because that's the vibe I get. He needs to stand out on his own because he's much better than what they are portraying him to be. Please. And fuck this shit about, Cesaro's not good enough because he doesn't connect with the crowd. That's a Vince McMahon fucking line, word for word. Are you fucking kidding me? Cesaro doesn't connect with the crowd. Cesaro connects with the crowd more so than Roman Reigns? What's stopping Vince McMahon from pushing Cesaro if he can get behind Roman Reigns and the crowd doesn't give fucking a flying shit about Roman Reigns? He picks and chooses who he wants, when he wants them, where he wants them. Cesaro needs to be given some grade A treatment on this show. I think he could be better off for it. Moving on. The Revival were in the locker room. They talked about the Usos. What kind of weirdo voyeur films a man getting his anatomy shaved? Dash said there's nothing odd about that. He says it's normal and part of life. He says he was there for a friend in need. Dash brought up the Usi hot. Dawson replied, the balls. The balls. Now, he stopped Dash from using the word balls. He was going to utter the phrase, the balls on you, meaning that, the Usos, who the fuck do you think you are? So Dawson stopped Dash. The balls are in your courts. He said the embarrassment of the Revival ends right now because they're willing to prove they're the best tag team on the planet. Now, if you guys watch Being the Elite tonight with Young Bucks and the Librarians, there was a little skit going back and forth where they actually made fun of WWE about Harper and everybody else asking for their release. One of the Librarians asked for their release, and Matt and Nick Jackson says that they couldn't grant their release because it's in the fine print of the contract. You got to sit at home and collect your paycheck and paycheck and paycheck until your contract runs out. Man, how bad, how terrible is it of you to sit at home with your family on a holiday and enjoy the summer? They're poking fun at WWE for not allowing talent out of their contract. They know. WWE is nothing more than a fucking comedy skit for everybody involved. Firefly Funhouse. This was fantastic. Bray Wyatt standing next to Mercy the Buzzard. We didn't see him initially. Shot the door, they shot the TV, they shot the window, and then all of a sudden, Bray is standing next to Mercy the Buzzard. We had Abby the Witch complaining about being woken up. We had Irrelevant the Rabbit, whatever the fuck the rabbit's name. He had, apparently he was back. He came back to life. He was resurrected from the grave. He had a Band-Aid over his eye. He was all healed up. He looked a little rough, but the rabbit was there. So, Abby complained about being woken up. Bray says he wants to show the world what he's been doing, but he can't do it alone, and he'll need the help of all of his Fireflies. He says it warms his soul that everyone wants to help. Bray says there's still a lot of darkness in his noggin. A lot of darkness still up here resides. But he's now figured out how to harness it and control it. His eyes and his facial expressions went into evil. And we started to see Bray Wyatt transform slowly. They showed pictures of the gloves. They were doing flashbacks of whatever he did in the first episode. And he asked everybody if they wanted to see his secret. The puppets looked petrified. They were all scared. Various images flashed of dolls in a dark room and a toy house. Just evil shit. The horse, the chair, the dolls. All this creepy shit. Then he revealed a new look. He looked like a scary demon clown. Now, I don't know if Bray Wyatt was auditioning to fucking sing Wait and Bleed by Slipknot on stage at the Download Festival. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Maybe he's the unofficial member of Slipknot. I don't fucking know. They got a new album coming out in August. But this was great. It played off the scary, creepy clown. It played off of Slipknot. And it played off of the Joker. He was shown in these clown-like evil pants. I need to get the fuck out of here. They showed him wearing these creepy clown pants, black and red. He had this creepy demon mask on, and he looked completely out of his mind. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, holy shit. This is exactly what we need to see. You talk about a fucking refresh. That is a refresh right there that I can certainly get behind. This is no question the best thing on Monday Night Raw. And WWE has a golden opportunity here. They have something that doesn't come around all that often in this company, on this show. This show has ruined Wyndham Rotunda. This show has fucking absolutely buried him to a point where we didn't think he would ever survive or come back from it. This is that opportunity. This looked great. Bray looked legit. Bray looked like he could go on a fucking streak and nobody could ever touch this guy. Now, I don't know how they're going to interweave the evil Mr. Rogers and then have him harness the fucking clown gimmick. I don't know what's going on there or how it's going to be portrayed or which one he's going to portray more of. But I feel like it's going to be a Finn Balor demon-like gimmick where we don't see it all that often and it only comes out when it's really appropriate. So we'll see what happens, but all I know is that looked fucking cool. It was great, and this is exactly what this show needs, man. This show needs a fucking talking point like that, and I thought it was fantastic. So hopefully we got more to come on this. Now we got the information about what his secret was or what his secret is, and now the best part for us is to figure out and understand why this is happening, who this is, what he's going to do with it. I love it. I think it's great. And Bray Wyatt, again, like I said, is the best thing on WWE television right now. Seth Rollins was interviewed by Sarah Schreiber. And she said that she had a very special guest. In comes Rollins. Seth told Sarah that Styles and his phenomenal forearm last week was unintentional. Seth said Styles showed his true colors on Sunday, and they are fighting for respect. Seth said that they had one other singles match 13 years ago in a small town in a tiny building, which they showed legitimate footage of. And it was on an NWA No Limits event. They showed some cool vintage clips. Like I said, he said it was the first time his friends and family knew his dream was real. He said he looked up to Styles, and this Sunday will be a statement match. He will prove to himself, the fans, and Styles that this is his industry and his show and that he's the backbone of Raw. He said 13 years ago that he looked up to Styles, and when the dust settles on Sunday, it will be Styles looking up to him. I like the foundation of this. I really do. I just think that it came about in the most forced manner that you could possibly ever ask for. And I'm not changing my tune. The only reason why WWE is booking this match right now, which is legitimately a SummerSlam match, the only reason why they're booking this match now in May at Money in the Bank is because of what's happening in the week after Money in the Bank with Double or Nothing. I know for a fact that WWE wants to show up Double or Nothing. They want to show up All Elite Wrestling. Because there's no reason why this match is happening now and not later on at a bigger pay-per-view. But I guess it spares us getting Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin, or Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre at Money in the Bank. So I guess I shouldn't be complaining all that much. But it's a simple storyline in execution. Rollins wants respect. AJ built SmackDown Live. He's come over to Monday Night Raw to build a new house on Monday Night Raw and make Raw the house that AJ Styles built, and Seth Rollins being the Universal Champion is taking a, I guess, some type of feeling to that. So it's simple in execution. I just hope the match delivers, because right now, I don't want to feel this way, and I'm going to reserve judgment until after Money in the Bank. I hope we don't get what we got with Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. I don't want it to be all hype, and then we get to the match, and after the match is over, the crowd's fucking dead silent for it. They're not into it. 25 minutes in, and it could have been a great match, but only ended up being a decent match for whatever reason. I don't want it to end up that way at all at Money in the Bank. Finally, guys, Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. I legitimately had fun watching this up until the fucking 6 minutes of commercials that were just thrown in our face mid-match. Now, I was very scared going into this because A, this is rehashed. B, you got one of the best wrestlers on the roster against one of the worst wrestlers on the roster. I don't know how well that usually ends up. More times than not, it ends up being fucking terrible. And Braun Strowman is in yet another gimmick match on WWE television. They're pretty much telling you that Braun Strowman is a one-trick pony. This one started in the ring. Braun picked apart Sami on the outside, did the big shoulder tackle. Sami went up the staircase into the souvenir area, into the catwalk. He took someone's beer, it looked like, and threw it right in Braun Strowman's face, which was great because I'm sure that fucking idiot was drinking a Coors Light, and that's where it belongs, on the fucking floor. So they made their way into the lobby area, and they're fighting. Sami's hitting Braun Strowman with some trash cans, breaking some trash cans over his back. They're plastic. Braun Strowman takes Sami and rams his face into one of those big pillars there in the catwalk. Baron Corbin comes out of nowhere and starts assisting Sami Zayn, which, I mean, yeah, it's funny that Baron Corbin finds himself in yet again another main event, but it's also the simplistic way of telling us that WWE was like, oh, you know what? Braun Strowman's a big threat in the ladder match, so why don't we have all the heels in the ladder match take out Braun Strowman? And we feuded with him before, so let's try and take him out collectively. We much rather have Sami Zayn in the match than big, bad Braun Strowman. That I can understand, and that I could appreciate, because that's the mentality a heel should have, and that's the story that WWE, you know, when this was happening on our television screens, needed to tell, and that's exactly what they did. So I really can't shit on it, because it makes just a little bit of sense. So, at the end of this thing, Baron Corbin is helping Sami Zayn. He suplexes Braun Strowman through the souvenir desk, through the t-shirt desk. And then all of a sudden, they go to commercial break. We see them back in the ring side area, and they're fighting up by the stage and into the back. All of a sudden, we see Drew McIntyre come out, and Drew McIntyre is there, and he is helping Sami beat up Braun Strowman. Drew DDT Braun Strowman onto a chair. Sami covered Braun for a 2 count. Drew McIntyre starts yelling at the referee. That was a 3. That was 3. How can that even be? So, the referee asked, what is he even doing here? And Michael Cole again said, you know, listen, this is a great strategy. Corey Graves even agreed this is a great strategy. The heels are taking out Braun Strowman. So then Braun gets back up. He picks up an ice cooler, which looked heavy, and he dropped it onto Drew. It was full with water and ice and cans. I'm assuming soda. He threw around more furniture, throwing around steel chairs and fucking trash cans. Braun spotted Sami and chased after me, threw Sami back onto the stage, and Braun jabbed Sami with a ladder, took one of the ladders that were standing up on the stage, rammed Sami in the gut with the ladder, bashed him across the back, several stacked ladders on top of him. So I guess Corbin came back from the concession area and attacked Braun Strowman. Drew joined in again. Corbin held Braun and Drew jabbed at him with a ladder. Drew leaned a ladder against security barricades on the stage, and Corbin suplexed Braun Strowman on top of the ladder, which broke, which looked devastating. Cole called it a golden opportunity for Sami. Drew then delivered a Claymore kick, and Corbin dragged Sami on top of Braun Strowman. Then Corbin and Drew all got on top of Braun Strowman with Sami, made the cover, and the referee counted to 3, and that was it. Cole says it didn't matter if you like it or not. Sami just beat Corbin, and he's headed to Money in the Bank. Now, the reason why I think it ended up being Braun Strowman losing in the main event and losing his spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I read something about Braun Strowman reportedly having backstage heat in WWE. Now, it's been reported that Braun Strowman is his own worst enemy in WWE. This was actually intensifying at WrestleMania. And it seems that Braun Strowman right now is going to be given less of a direction in the company. According to Fightful, there was a botched spot in the Battle Royal, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, that involved Luke Harper, who isn't happy right now for his own reasons, and Mustafa Ali. Now, if you guys remember the spot, Braun Strowman reportedly forgot his spot, and Ali ended up getting hurt in the match because he kicked Luke Harper so hard in the gut. I don't know if Luke Harper was supposed to be there or not, but Luke Harper had suplexed Ali from inside the ring to the outside, and Braun Strowman ran at full speed, kicking Luke Harper in the midsection, propelling Luke Harper in a suplex position to dump Ali to the outside, and Ali ended up getting hurt. Luke Harper could have been seriously hurt. Ali later confirmed that he was okay after taking that scary bump, but it was not in the plan for him to take such a risk on that spot. Braun Strowman forgot his spots. Strowman hit Harper with a stiff kick, and Harper tried to catch Ali during this dangerous fall, and his back and shoulder got hurt. Ali, did what he could to spare himself in the meantime, also while Harper helping him not get hurt. It was also reported that Braun Strowman later thought that he did nothing wrong. So when they approached him about it, he went on and on and on about how he thought he didn't do anything wrong. So that caused a lot of tension backstage, which escalated the situation. And ever since then, WWE has had backstage heat on Braun Strowman. So I don't know if that is a direct reason as to why he lost, but the only thing I could also think of, the only other reason I could think of is that if Sami Zayn was dumped in a dumpster by a garbage truck because of Braun Strowman and then comes back and willingly challenges Braun Strowman in a Falls Count Anywhere match for his Money in the Bank spot, how are you not going to give that to Sami Zayn? You already buried him legitimately last week. You're not going to fucking have him lose after he outwardly made the challenge to Braun Strowman. He would look ridiculous. And everything that Sami Zayn has said and done, and they pushed him on television, everything they've done with him would have been a complete fucking waste. So you're not going to really have Sami Zayn challenge to a specific match after being dumped in the trash last week and have him lose. And then after the match, Braun Strowman is out there. They, meaning Drew and Baron Corbin, they throw Sami to the wolves primarily for Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman sees this because the other two ran away. And Braun Strowman suplexes Sami Zayn through the announce table on Monday Night Raw. Couldn't even give Sami Zayn his fucking 15 minutes of fame. Whatever. That's the way Monday Night Raw went off the air. Not really a good show, man. But the third hour was not bad. We got that unbelievable Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt and his new gimmick, his new inner demon, I guess. And we got that great match with Cesaro and Rey Mysterio. And we got a somewhat fun main event with Braun Strowman and Sami Zayn, which ultimately Sami Zayn won and makes the ladder match better at Money in the Bank on Sunday. I guess we can't really complain, but all in all, it was still a bad show. These tape shows are terrible. We got to go through it one more time with SmackDown Live. And that was your Monday Night Raw. If you missed anything, you didn't really miss anything outside Bray Wyatt and a decent match with Cesaro and Rey Mysterio. Other than that, another forgettable Monday Night Raw. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for all your support. If you did enjoy the video, please hit that thumbs up. Follow me on social media, JD from NY206. on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD2Men1-206. And if you guys missed any of my videos, make sure you guys go and check them out. All linked in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of the screen. I am getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. Again, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all right back here for SmackDown Live on Tuesday. We have another Fatal 4-Way, this time with the men, and we have a KO segment, the KO show, with Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston building towards their WWE Championship match at Money in the Bank. Again, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. I'll talk to you later.